in the spirit of the Black church. Amen. All right. Thank you, Madam President. It's an honor to follow you after giving such a dynamic address to our attendees. I want to thank everyone for coming here today. I'm trying to stay focused because when you give, see, that's what I didn't want. When you give a minister a mic in a church, he gonna start going off. And see, I was trying to stay focused on my notes. And see, you give the man a mic, I'm gonna lose my time, and then I'm gonna miss what I was supposed to give. And I only got a little bit of time. We've been doing this for a long time. All of us in here, we've been doing this a long time. And when you wonder what it takes, what does a person need to have to continue this journey for a long time, to not just travel miles, not just go deep into your pockets, but to give years and years of your life. Reparations is a spiritual battle. That's how you keep going without being tired. It's a spiritual battle. And since we're in the Black church, I got to go into a scripture. Come on now. Come on now. Sister, can I go into a scripture? My elders, I hope and pray that our elders would be pleased. But it's a simple scripture because I don't like going in and out of the Bible too much. But this one I like going to every time. Genesis 15:13. Y'all know that, right? God said unto Abraham, know of a surety, that thy seed shall be a stranger in a strange land, and they shall serve, and they shall be afflicted for 400 years, and afterwards they shall come out with great substance. Now let me go, my brother. Can I give a Torah translation? I like this one better. In the Torah, in my Torah, is more specific, as it says that Abraham's seed will be enslaved, and after serving will come out with great wealth. Now, I know for surety that my ancestors have been in this strange land. And a strange land means coming over a strange ocean. A strange land means getting on a strange ship. A strange land means being whipped and changed by strange people. I'm the descendant, the 9th generation descendant of a woman named Lucy, who in the newspaper, her slave master put in there, Lucy escaped. An African woman escaped Pennsylvania and went to Canada with other free blacks. So here it is. I'm just letting you know from the beginning, it was an international struggle. From being picked up from Africa, crossing the Atlantic to the Americas is an international crime. To escape America and go to Canada and cross the borders is an international event. Slavery, the transatlantic slave trade, the Holocaust is an international crime. Their reason being that the Honorable Salaam Muhammad thought and did take the events to the United Nations. And I'm only here today because of his work. I'm only here today because of what he did. All of us are here. I don't know, I had a PowerPoint to go along, but sister, whoever's in the back, if you could put that up, I'm just going to go along with it. I'm finished with the scripture. So I'm going to keep moving forward. We went to Geneva, Switzerland. I'm, as my brother said, Ishmael Abdul Salaam. I'm the current CEO of AFRE. AFRE is All for Reparations and Emancipation. You can find us at allforreparations.org on the website. I was appointed as the Chief Executive Officer to lead the organization in August of 23. We have had non-governmental organization status with the United Nations since 1997. It was the Honorable Salaam Muhammad who saw fit that we needed to form an organization that would help us navigate successfully the international mechanisms of the United Nations. There he assigned Ida Hakeem, who used her organization, CURE, Caucasians United for Reparations and Emancipation. It was in her spirit and the spirit of white abolitionists who helped the Honorable Salaam Muhammad to navigate the white-led, European-led mechanisms in Geneva. She was very successful in helping us to navigate those waters. So after doing work since early 90s and then being official in 1997, we've been over 30 years providing written interventions, oral interventions, and networking inside the United Nations. It is the United Nations that the Honorable Salaam Muhammad has, I believe, fulfilled his best work. That is why it was important for AFRE to establish, or what we call re-engage, the United Nations this coming year as part of being a part of the Permanent Forum on People of African Descent. Thank you. And it was Madam President Akila Mukaram who came with AFRE and did an excellent job of representing all Afro-descendants and providing a definition to the world to accept on our behalf. And also with us was Dr. Tahida Brana Sabri, as I know her, who was with us as well. We would not have been successful without her work in guiding us through the challenges that we had. One of the first things that we did, we established a UN side event on April 13th. The UN did ask NGOs to provide a side event for people who, this was before the event because the permanent forum was the 16th through the 19th of April. So we conducted an event before that on the 13th, and it was a virtual event. How many of you attended that event? If you, good, not enough. But several people from around the world did see that event. And what that event did was we re-emphasized before going to Geneva our particular identity and recognition as Afro-descendant people. It was important because the term Afro-descendant was born out of what happened in Santiago in Honduras and in South America. Thus, the term Afro-descendant was born out of the collective unity of Afro-Cubans, Afro-Peruvians, Afro-Colombians, Afro-Panamanian, okay? The people of the Caribbean, Afro-Brazilians, the largest group is the Afro-Brazilian people. And what we came together is found out was that collectively we all got to these strange lands through the same process of the slave trade. And also on the international front, prior to this event, we solidified that the work of the Honorable Salih Muhammad, who did speak as an Afro-descendant leader in Durban, South Africa, as part of the Durban Declaration of 2001, asked for a forum. He asked the UN for a forum where Afro-descendant leaders can come together to discuss our differences. We asked the United Nations because we were scattered in these strange places. I spoke English. My brothers and sisters in Brazil spoke Portuguese. My brothers and sisters in Colombia spoke Spanish. My brothers and sisters in Haiti spoke French. And even though we went through the same thing, when we got together, our connection was destroyed. Not only was our connection destroyed, our religion was destroyed. Our culture was destroyed. And the United Nations helped us to establish ourselves because Muhammad asked for it. In fact, he demanded it. He demanded a forum. He said, I want a forum. Also in South Africa, through the Durban Declaration, the transatlantic slave trade was declared a crime against humanity. Very important. Well, with a crime, you need victims. So it's important for the Afro-descendant identity to be recognized and accepted, because our global identity fits with the crime that was established as a crime against humanity. So in this forum, I don't know how much time I got. This might take all the time. I don't know. I ain't even got through one slide. I'm sorry. Y'all come run me down, get the hook, whatever you need, get me off. But I got to take my time with this because this been too long. I only went through one slide. Man, told you don't give me the mic. I ain't dropping it neither. All right, so brother, this is a great brother. He couldn't be here today. And everybody ain't here, but we are here for everybody. So don't worry about the crowd and all that. Everybody's not here, but we are here for everybody. So let that fill your spirit, that you're here for those who can't make it. For the brothers and sisters that ain't here, we'll pour one for them. We're going to keep on going. Participants of the Permanent Forum on People of African Descent included member states from Africa, member states from the Caribbean, and over 1,500 registered individuals. The Permanent Forum on People of African Descent is, in my view, the forum that Muhammad asked for. He asked for a forum where we can come together, and they had it and they established it. But here's the concern that concerns us and concerns Madam President, is that the forum, the term that Afro-descendant, which was born out of Santiago and Honduras, specifically spoke to those victims of the transatlantic slave trade. And to our benefit, other people across the globe know the power of black people in North America. They know about the civil rights struggle. They know of the power of the Black Panther movement. They know about our democratic processes and power. They know we can put a black man in the White House. That's how they view the world. They try to understand, why are y'all so powerful? Because the spirit that's in us, and we're not defeated. So in the global context, black people in America lead the reparations movement. Afro-descendant, to me, this is me, is the new identity for Pan-Africanism. There's a movement like the Pan-Africanist movement formed by Marcus Garvey and W.E.B. Du Bois in the 1920s that is now formed on the spirit of Afrodescendants born out of Santiago and Honduras and North America. And it's the spirit of our brothers and sisters in Brazil who speak Portuguese, who are spirited and who are loud and who are focused. It's the spirit of Brother Eric Phillips, who is the vice chairman of the CARICOM Reparations movement, who identifies as Afro-descendant. It's the spirit of our new president, June Suma, who is also an Afro-descendant. It's the spirit of all the African leaders who now want to identify as Afro-descendant. Why? Because the movement is so strong. When they hear that reparations now, that I done went up, boy, that's okay. It's strong. Let me move forward. Here's another part. I need to go forward with this. Sister, go to the next slide, the African Union. So we have CARICOM, and CARICOM has formed its unity around their 10-point reparations program. You're aware of that, right? If you don't, look it up. CARICOM 10-point reparations program. That is, the Caribbean nations have come together, not Caribbean people, the Caribbean nations together and formed a reparations program. In November 2023, the African Union, when Ghana had its reparations meeting, the African Union is now preparing in 20 to 25 to also have a formal reparations program. The 54 countries of Africa, the 6 regions. There are 5 regions on the continent. The African Union recognizes the people of the diaspora as the 6th region. That includes Afro-descendants. They also wish that the 6th region form a governmental structure to represent Afro-descendants in the African Union. So Africa's unified around reparations. The Caribbean is unified around reparations. Individually Colombia, individually Brazil, individually Canada, individually North America. But we got to come together. So as Madam President said, we got to come together formally. Not just, I got unity with you, brother. I'm down with you. You know we're unified. Yeah, that's talk. CARICOM is unified by an agreement. African Union is organized by formal agreement. We need formal agreement that puts the tribalisms aside, the religion aside, all the schisms aside, and focuses on the issues. Because we only got so much time. One of the key things that we fought for was that they give us another 10 years, because the first 10 years was from 2015 to 2024. So what we are hoping, and we have good reason to believe, that we will get another 10 years for the permanent form. So in September, when the General Assembly meets, the Secretary of the UN, he will announce again that there will be another permanent form for another 10 years. So all the African nations want another 10 years. Caribbean wants another 10 years. We want another 10 years. And the big thing, the United States government asked for another 10 years. Is it because our sister Kamala Harris, whose father's Jamaican, and she's over the State Department, and she's Afro-descendant? Maybe so. So what I'm saying is, if we get another 10 years, we might not get a third. So time dictates the agenda. So within this next 10 years, with the form or not, we got to make do and go hard. Because the first group that we had, the working group on minorities, they shut that down. When Trump came into office, I'm just telling you like it is. so it can be shut down again. But when the opportunity comes, just like Barry Sanders or whoever the running back, when the hole open up, you gotta run, brother. When the hole open up, we gotta run. I'm sorry to make sports euphemisms, but I gotta do it. I'm sorry. We got to go hard. We gotta go hard. I'm sorry. All right, let's go. All right, sister, go to the next one. So in that picture back there, you saw brothers and sisters. Go to that picture again. In that picture right there, go back to that last picture. I want to say something about your great president. In that meeting, that is a 6-region meeting with brothers and sisters from London, from Europe, from Canada, from Africa. It was 35 different people talking about the 6th region governing. And when we came in, and Madam President came in, the brother stopped the meeting and said, I want to stop, and I want to have the Afrodescendant Nation stand up, and I want to recognize the great work of the Honorable Salas Muhammad, because he also read the 1503 procedure and said Salas Muhammad been doing this for a long time, and he been asking for a forum. So that truth is the truth. The truth is the truth. Truth is the truth. This struggle is full of unnamed heroes. But we're going to talk about it today. Next, I want to go forward because I ain't even, how much time? I ain't going to concern myself with time. I'm moving forward. Modern impacts of plantation slavery. Loss of mother tongue. We talked about that. When you lose your mother tongue, that sets the playing field for ethnocide, killing your culture. It denies us collective unity among other Afro-descendants. It's a destructive component of loss of identity, culture, religion, and education. That was the first thing they did, was to take away our language. Take away the language, you take away the religion. You take away the language, you take away the culture. You take away the ability to speak, the mother to teach the child. You take away the identity of the person. That's what the Honorable Salas Muhammad's first position was in the United Nations. Let's go to the next one. But today, we want, go to the next slide. Okay, we got that one. We want to talk about the modern impacts of plantation slavery. And then what I want to focus on, because of my particular area of focus, is the law, is the impact, the financial impacts of what is being done to us financially to destroy our wealth and to take away our land and our communities, because that is a modern impact that's happening right now and has been happening. So as you already know, but here are the numbers, because one thing that we learned also in Geneva, in order to be successful in the reparations struggle, we must have data. We must have data. It's not just who can shout the loudest and who could tear down the most. You got to have the data. And as of September 23, black households in America owned only 23.5% of the wealth of white households, even though straight up we built this country. I call it like it is. Modern impacts of slavery. There's a new book that came out, and this new book focused on 600 billion from black Americans through unfair taxes post-slavery. This gap, this income gap, this wealth gap continues to widen due to exploitation of land, homes, communities, often facilitated by policies favoring corporations over Afro-descendants, who frequently fall victim to practices such as redlining and blockbusting. Well, look at Washington, D.C. Come on now. Used to be the chocolate city. Look at Atlanta, Georgia, where I'm from. Used to be the Mecca. And land is just taken. Communities are just being destroyed. Go to the next one. And here's one of the big ones. They do it through eminent domain. The federal government, anytime they do a highway, a major highway expansion, it always goes through black communities. Auburn Avenue, Atlanta people? What's on Auburn Avenue? Highway 20.
Destroyed the black economic infrastructure of black Atlanta post-slavery. Destroyed. I don't know where you from, but I'm sure you can tell me in your town, in your place, where a highway came through, runs right over the black community, and moves all the business and traffic somewhere else. Then the next thing they do, they systematically allow our communities to just be blighted. And what does blight do? Allows the values to go down. And then it causes corporations to have tax breaks. Then all of a sudden, after the chemical elements come to our community and our community is destroyed, then the corporations come through and they've got high rises and all type of multi-retail housing, belt lines and all type of things coming through your community when our people cannot even get in. This is systematic. And these are modern impacts of plantation slavery. It's a spelling word, madam. I saw a spelling typo on there. I got a teacher right here, so I got to be careful. It's a typo. Now this last one, go to the next one, sister. I'm going to wrap it up. This one came out. I don't know. I saw this one been going around TikTok, that one on the right. Look at this. The median household income in the United States by ethnic group. Who's at the bottom? You talking about the people who spent 400 years in slavery? Who built the greatest capital in the world? Supposedly. African Americans, the median household income, $35,000. Now this is the thing right here. I'm just pointing out these facts. The average American, $56,200. Slightly above African Americans is Hispanic, Nepali Indians, Bangladeshi Americans, and then Thai Americans, then the average American. I don't know who that is. Maybe that's white Americans. But look at all the people that are above. Which is interesting. These are people who have benefited from everything that we fought for. Number one, Indian Americans. Filipino Americans, number two. Taiwanese Americans, Sri Lankan Americans, Japanese Americans, Malaysian Americans, Chinese Americans, Pakistani Americans, then white Americans and 59 Korean Americans. All these people have benefited from what we fought for to get civil rights. A Korean man, an Indian man could not have come and sat down at a counter if it wasn't for a black man or a black woman who fought to make that right happen. A Korean man, an Indian man, a Sri Lankan man or woman could not have went into a bank unless a black man or woman had fought for the rights to do so. All these barriers that we fought for others created pathways for generational wealth, but yet ours is systematically being taken away from us, slowly reducing us back to slavery. Because they're telling your children it's not a wise investment to get a home. Who's saying that? Live rent free, take your money, put it in dues. Who, what? Land is the foundation of wealth anywhere in the world. That's why, as a part of reparations, we want restitution. Restitution is what we want, what you took back from us. The crime started in Africa. You stole us from a land. So look at all the generations that's at least 12, 13, 14, 15 generations. And then once we got here and fought and took land, you systematically through your policies took it away. Still doing it today. Go down to the Gullah Geechee lands of Georgia, South Carolina. They automatically want to come up, marry out once Hilton Head and build golf courses and crazy stuff. Y'all know the story. All throughout America. They will take a town up in Oscarville, Georgia, and created Lake Lanier. The Army Corps of Engineers created a dam and flooded a black town. Didn't even have the decency to tear the buildings down. Even today, if you go in the water, your foot might hit a building, a tree, or whatever. Everywhere you go, Central Park, black towns. And it's happening today. So what I'm pointing this out to say, I'm pointing this out to say, there are modern impacts today of plantation slavery. And we must continue to fight, even though 35,000 looks a lot to somebody from Colombia or another country. We have to still put this out to the world because the international community thinks that we're doing okay. Because we got jobs and cars and clothes and Beyonce and Jay-Z and this ball player and that ball player. They give an illusion that black people are okay in America. That's done systematically when the majority of us are hurting and suffering. We need reparations right now. So it's critical that we continue to provide interventions, written, oral, and participate in these forums. We're not going to let a year go by. We ain't going to let a forum go by where we're not there. You know why? Because when we went to that forum, the Brazilians were strong. They were 35 deep in the UN speaking. The Colombians were strong. So we can't play around Afrodescendant leaders. I know all of us here. Professor Smalls, you got to come with us. You got to be in Jamaica. You're coming. If I sign up, come take my seat. We got to hear from you. We got to hear from our scholars. They want the data. They want to know. So there's a meeting in Jamaica that's being hosted by the Working Group on People of African Descent. The title is Reparations. So we're going to be in Jamaica. There's discussion about the fourth forum. They don't know where it is. It could be in Brazil. Wherever it is, we going. We going. And if I don't go, I'm going to help you go. I'm helping somebody go. When we call for papers, Professor Smalls, will you help read them? I know you will. I'm just calling on you. Who else is a doctor, scholar? Come on, don't hide, y'all. We need y'all. Thank you, sister. Put your hand up. The doctors, the scholars, the intellectual. We need your papers. We need your scholarship. We need it. And where the young people at? Don't y'all hide too? Young sister from Europe, she put her phone up. Young sister from Europe, she said, cash at me my reparations. Look at my brother back there, young. See, they know that. She said, I'm going to give you my cash app. I want it right now. And the whole meeting stood up and said that. I felt her on that. So in winding down, we need collective unity. One of the things that we want to do in the Afrodescendant Nation, and we've started already, is to form a memorandum of understanding to support each other. That's basically it. Regardless of what you support this method, I support reparations. And we support each other. And we rally for each other. And we don't go out in public talking about each other, disrespecting each other, because the movement don't have time for that. Remember, time dictates the agenda, and we're going to have a window that 10 years sounds like a long time. It's really not. Because after that, we don't know what's going to happen. You might have to take whatever you fought for. But in the meantime, reparations means self-determination and repair. And there are things that we can do to repair ourselves economically, spiritually, intellectually, socially. And that's what we got to work on. And what we want to show the UN and the rest of the world, that the brothers and sisters here in North America, Afro-descendants, are not broken, that we are strong, and we're over the isms and pettyisms and all this thing like this. Who you with? I'm Christian, I'm Muslim, I'm this. No, I'm Afro-descendant. And my descendant, just like your descendant, came from Africa and was enslaved and went through the same thing that yours went through, whether it was Spanish, French, whatever. I'm going to end on this note. I'm sorry, I said that about 2 times, didn't I? I'm sorry. See, you shouldn't. Why you get this to me? I told you. Look, oh man, what time? All right. I said 1:20, so I think I'm good. All right. The other people didn't show up. Maybe that was, look, 2 things we've got to pay attention to that the UN is looking at. Haiti. Remember, Haiti was the first to be free in the Western Hemisphere, basically Afro-descendants who fought for their freedom. And they've been paying a price both financially and they've been paying a price socially by these Western powers. Because, so as an example, don't think that our liberation, they don't want that we're going to get away with it and they're going to just do it happy-go-lucky skipping down the street. It's not going to happen. But what is happening in Haiti, because CARICOM is unified, the African Union is unified, Haiti's ready to come up out of wherever she is at this moment, the Haitian people. There are people outside of the island who want to help. How Haiti remodels itself and self-determines could be a model for reparations for Afro-descendant people. I'm just putting it in that way. So we need to look at it. I'm suggesting that the Afrodescendant Nation form a monitoring team that we can monitor situations in Haiti and report back to our people. There's another case, that's one case. There's another case of an island off the coast of East Africa. It has a military base, Diego Garcia. The international court wrote an opinion because in recent time, that island was taken over and the people were forced off the island and it was recolonized in model time. And the international court set a precedence of writing an opinion on this case. So the Permanent Forum and the Human Rights Commission is looking at that to see if there's precedence for involvement from the international court on how to address nations in regards to reparations. One final point, and I'm not giving him no big points on this, but it's something that the King of the Netherlands, y'all heard this thing? The King of the Netherlands, he apologized for slavery and he put up like $200 million. And he challenged 14 other nations by the end of 2024 to apologize and put up some money. Well, I ain't seen nobody follow yet. Portugal did? Okay, thank you. That's my brother back. There go Geneva, yes sir, my brother Cam. So that's 2. But what it is, this is a critical time it's time for me to get off. Yes. Safiwe, thank you. Thank you so much. So it's a critical time for us in the reparations movement. We got a video from our brother, Safiwe. I want to put that, sister, if you will play that. I want to say thank you very much and let brother Safiwe give his address. He couldn't be here, but he has something to say.